Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Northern Ireland Women's Football Show with me, Jana McCabe. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Ballymoney's Laura Devine and Sasha Clare from Larne. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you.
Laura, I'll start with you. A great season for Ballymoney. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it was a very, very good season to come away with the League Cup and the Super Cup. More challenging season than what we've had previously. But players really stepped up this year. They've been asked to play out of position. They've been asked to play maybe more defensive roles, and they've just shown that determination and maturity to do that. And that really showed through in our performances in the last 2 to 3 games. And obviously, not winning the league hurt a little, especially losing out to Green Island. So again, we set the standards in training from then. Had two really good cup performances. And then on our way through the Super Cup, we played 3 championship teams. So I think Camlough, Comber and Belfast Celtic. 3 big performances as well, which has helped us in our confidence going into next season with the championship.
And those 3 victories against those championship teams obviously paid off in the end. You won that Super Cup. That wasn't too long ago. Have you recovered from it yet?
Just about, yeah. Just about. I think I had carried a slight knock going into it as well, so that's recovered. Players are recovering from injuries. There's been quite a few this year, and we're all looking forward to getting back into pre-season. A bit of strength and conditioning planned, I think, before Christmas and injury prevention, so we're looking forward to that, yeah.
Normally you obviously have one League Cup final and then that's kind of it, and without the Super Cup. How challenging is it after that League Cup final to remember, oh wait, actually we've got another game, I know we can't really celebrate then?
It's challenging, but we've a very mature squad and they want to be successful. So, we took some time to enjoy winning the League Cup and celebrate, but we were straight back into training the next week. Everybody had their heads switched on. I think the biggest challenge was we played Green Island in both games, and we knew then the Super Cup was going to be probably more difficult than the League Cup, because obviously Green Island, they wouldn't want to lose out again, so they knew we were going to come at us. All the players set the standard very, very quickly after that League Cup final, knew exactly what was asked of them and put in an excellent performance to pick up the Super Cup.
You mentioned at the start of the show there that maybe it wasn't the ideal season, it was more challenging than you probably had other seasons. Green Island were fierce competitors throughout, weren't they?
Yeah, and yeah, they were. They definitely come on, but I think it's matured our squad. It's definitely brought us together as a team. Like I said earlier, we have asked players that are normally so good going forward to play in wing-back positions. They've done what's asked of them brilliantly. They've played more defensive roles very, very well, and it's really brought us together as a squad. It's opened our eyes to what the standard needs to be, and we've improved from that.
And Sasha, you've got a couple of games left, so we can't really talk about the end of the season for you, but how's it gone with Larne this year?
It's been good, yeah. We've got a new coach in this year, so having Phil in, bringing his experience, he was away in America coaching, so I think he's brought a different perspective of coaching towards the team. And then obviously we've had a lot of new signings over the past few weeks, and they've brought a lot of quality to the team. I think we have a very good team going forward. There's a lot of talent within the squad. It's just on us to see how we build and stick it out and, train together, get stronger together, just keep working.
You'd have a little bit of experience, obviously, if you played with Larne last summer. How difficult was it with all the new signings? Did you feel like you had to kind of help them get used to it, 'cause it's such a different league over here?
Yeah, so when the English girls came over, they all settled in pretty well, to be fair. They're all experienced girls anyway, quite a few of them were older. So yeah, it was good to get them in, have their different experiences. They all studied in America, so played in America, so different type of play as well out there. So bringing all that into the squad was brilliant. And then the girls we've signed from within the league as well, just like we've had a few from Cliftonville, Lisbon Rangers, so getting all them girls in has just been brilliant. And they're all young too, so we have a very young squad, but the more and more we train together, the more you see the potential, and there's so much talent in the squad. It just looks so promising, so yeah.
And when we're recording this, as we said, you have 2 games left, 2 huge games against Glentoran and Linfield. Obviously there's no playoff, relegation, promotion playoff this year, but I'm sure you'll still be hoping to cause that upset.
Oh, definitely. I think every time we go into games, we just try and better ourselves from the last time we played the teams. Obviously, they're such like quality teams with like so many internationals in them that when we go into them, we like, to be honest, we don't like, there's not that much pressure. Obviously, we want a result, but it's on us and how we want to play and how hard we want to work. So we just focus on ourselves rather than like who the other team is. And each week we're just going into it, like try our best, give it everything we have, you know, leave everything on the pitch. So yeah.
It'll be exciting to see. And in terms of Ballymoney now, do you have a few weeks to relax, you said, before you get back into it?
Yeah, we'll take a few weeks off and then we'll get everybody back together. They're all keen to get going again.
Oh, don't want to stop?
No, because we had such a good end to the season, you want to keep the momentum going and keep everybody moving in some capacity. So we're keen to get back to it.
It really won't be long getting around to that championship. Championship, as always, is growing strength to strength. So obviously Sion won it this year, but it's going to be so tough next year.
Yeah, and we have the squad that's capable for it. There's talent from back to front, and it's a young squad as well, but for being such a young squad, they're all very mature. They read the game very well, they understand the coaching points very well, and they put what we do in training into practice just so easy. It's a brilliant squad of players, and they're more than fit for championship.
And during the week, Mid-Ulster were obviously relegated to that championship, another huge team to compete against. Not to put the pressure on for you.
Oh, no, no pressure. I think Sasha said they concentrate on themselves and we do the same. There's a way we want to play, and that's how we'll play. And we've players who can do a job going forward and a job defensively with ease. They're just so talented. We've brilliant strikers who can score goals for fun, so we'll concentrate on our game and put in a good battle.
Speaking of scoring goals for fun, Sasha, you've had some very, very good goals. You'll be humble and not say so much, but like some incredible strikes.
Yeah, I think the main thing's having the confidence to do it. Like, obviously I'm left back, so when we were playing against Mid-Ulster, the coaches kind of said to me before the game, like, if you have the time and the space, you know, get your touch, have a shot. And then, yeah, just always looking to go forwards. And obviously when you do score, it's brilliant, but you can't do it without the rest of the team, so, yeah.
But as a left back, as you said, maybe not something that's expected, but I'm sure everybody was glad you did it.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise, so, yeah.
We're going to take a short break here in the studio and relive probably what you want to relive is that Super Cup final against Green Island. Over to the highlights from what was a very entertaining game.
Laura Devine, number 11.
Welcome back to the studio. That was, as I said, a great game of football, and congratulations once again to Ballymoney for the victory. Laura, we'll come back to you. Obviously now you've got a bit of a break, but now you've also retired from futsal. That must have been a hard decision to step back.
Yeah, very hard decision. Loved playing futsal. It's a great sport and it's definitely helped me improve as a goalkeeper. You get shots fired at you from such a close range, you get so little time in the ball, so it improves your footwork, your distribution, shot stopping capabilities. The very, very difficult decision to make, but I think one at that time just needed to be made for myself. Just a lot of commitment required.
And you're obviously so busy playing for Ballymoney, you have a job, you have to do everything.
Yeah, it's been a difficult year. Work's been busy, and then midweek games are always a challenge, especially when you're working. You put your laptop down, and then you jump in the car to maybe travel 2 hours for a game, which is always a challenge. And then home late, up and back to work the next morning. So, just for my recovery, I think it was good to cut back a little. And that's helped massively in my own preparation.
But you must be so proud of the career you've had, and you seem to have had some experiences with Northern Ireland particularly.
Yeah, I didn't get into football until I was in my early 20s. So to be able to say I've got some international caps for futsal is just amazing. I would never have thought that I would be at that level. And I'm very proud to say that I represented the team at 2 European competitions.
You said there you just got into football in your 20s. How did that first come about? It's quite late for a majority of people.
Yeah, so being a little older, we didn't have the coverage for football that we had when I was growing up, and I was a camogie player for a long time. Started playing hockey when I went to school, and it was through hockey and Ballymoney that I met some people who were in football. And they asked if I wanted to come and play for them. So my very first club was Ballymoney. From there, I played for Coleraine, Ballymoney United, coached a year in Boston. So when I got into football, I just loved it, getting into it in a big way. So it's been a very good career.
And Sasha, we're going to come back to your American career, but you also played in Boston, you said? So you coached in Boston,
I coached, I didn't play. So we took a year out to go and coach over there for a company, and that was an excellent experience. And what I learned even from my own game, doing that day in, day out, just having that exposure really helped elevate my game as well.
Sasha, I'm sure you would say the same. It must have been a great experience, albeit you played rather than coached over there.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I went out when I was 17, so still very young, but getting all that experience. I played at 2 different schools, so I went to a junior college first and then went to like a 4-year university. But yeah, it was brilliant getting to play against girls from all over the world. Very big, soccer's very big over there, so the coaches over there were brilliant. You just had so much experience, and every week you were travelling to a new game. Like the second school I was at, there was 2 games per week, so you'd leave school on the Thursday, wouldn't get back to the Sunday, and you'd just be playing, training every day. It was brilliant. Really brought my football on, so yeah, it was great.
And it was catching up that you seem to be scoring loads of goals over there as well. You had a very good career.
Yeah, I had a very good, especially at my junior college, I had a brilliant coach, brilliant teammates that all felt very trusted in, and we got lots of awards as a team, and we did the best that the school had done in years. I even got All-American myself for that junior college, so I was brilliant as a freshman as well, so I was chuffed with that. But yeah.
You mentioned there you got that All-America. What was that feeling like when you got that news?
It was unreal, to be honest. When I first seen it, I was like, what is that? And then my coach was like, oh, like you've been picked out of all the like junior colleges in that division, like you're on that team. And I was like, oh, it was just surreal. I didn't really believe it, but yeah, I was chuffed.
Was it a tough decision to come back home after college ended then?
Yes and no. I think playing wise, I think the game's coming on at home so much, and there's so much to like be seen for football nowadays. Like the coverage, this show itself is amazing for the women's game. So I think that I was ready to come home and play and get my foot back in the door at home. And then seeing my family at home, I'm a homebody, so seeing all my family. But leaving my friends behind was tough, but I've seen them since I came back. I met up with someone in Scotland over the summer, so yeah, kept in touch, made friends for life, so yeah.
Sasha, you talked about how the game has improved. It must be kind of the same with futsal. You must have seen quite a growth in it over the last few years.
Yeah, we've got women's leagues set up through NIF. You have NIF, your first federation to actually manage futsal here. There's youth starting to come through, and I think it's important that people look to futsal as a means for development. Like I said, it improved my game massively because getting shots hit at you at such a pace, good with my feet, so I can get down and make good split saves, which gives me maybe an advantage. So it's definitely something that people should look at. You get a lot less time in the ball, you're pressured much quicker, it's just much more technical, your movement has to be much more fluid. Definitely a top sport, and it's great to see it growing.
So is there quite a difference, particularly when it comes to goalkeeping, between goalkeeping on like a pitch outside in normal football and then futsal?
Yes, so you only get 4 seconds for distribution, so and it's out of your hands. So that's improved my throwing, and I go out onto an 11-a-side pitch and I want to get a quick counter-attack going, I'll opt for a throw. I don't wear gloves in futsal, ball's smaller and harder. So I think that's improved my handling, because I'm used then to they say you should train with football in your bare feet if you get more of a feel for the ball. Same then with goalkeeping, get the ball in your hands without the gloves for a while, get a good feel of the ball, and then when you put the gloves on, they're just an added protection. And just organising your players. In futsal, you have to have your head in the swivel, and your communication has to be so effective, because you don't have time to give out a long sentence. It's a very, very quick verbal instruction. So there's definitely advantages there. When you go out then to play 11-a-side football, net's much bigger, the pitch is much bigger, so shots are maybe coming at you from more of a distance. But when you do get faced with those 1v1s, you know you're capable of making them.
I can't believe you don't wear gloves. I'd be so scared of breaking all your fingers.
No, I
scary.
haven't. No, haven't had any major hand injuries, thankfully. Touch wood. So no major hand injuries.
That's a very big relief, I'm sure. And also, Sasha, I'm not sure about you, but I wouldn't fancy playing football in my bare feet.
No, definitely not. Getting studded on in bare feet. It's bad enough as it is in football boots.
Yeah. No, maybe not go with that one either.
No.
We're going to take another short break here in the studio and head over to Colin as he gives us a roundup of the recent fixtures in the NNIWFL Premiership. Over to you, Colin.
As the 2024 NI Football League Sports Direct Women's Premiership reaches its conclusion, we seem set for a dramatic finale, with only 3 points separating the league's top 2 sides, Cliftonville and Glentoran. With only 3 games left to play at the time of our recording this episode, it's Cliftonville who lead the way. However, with one of those remaining games seeing them taking on their nearest rivals, Glentoran, the title is still very much anyone's to claim. For the record, Cliftonville's last 3 games are Lisburn Rangers at home, Glentoran at home, before they end off the league season with a North Belfast derby away to local rivals Crusaders Strikers. Glentoran end their campaign with a difficult game away to much improved Derry City, before that massive trip away to Cliftonville. They then closed off the campaign with a home game against their biggest rivals, Linfield, and there's no doubt the Blues would love nothing more than to end Glentoran's title hopes if it comes to that scenario. For now, however, it seems the destiny for this season for the title will be decided at Solitude on Sunday the 6th of October as Cliftonville Ladies host Glentoran Women in a game that will be broadcast live on DAZN Sports.
Thank you, Colin, for that. It's set to be a very exciting end to that Premiership, and it'll be good to see how it goes. Sasha, Laura mentioned how she got into football. How did you first get into football?
Well, my dad, he played like when he was young, and he was a goalkeeper, and then I played like rugby, judo, all the sports growing up, and then at primary school I was kicking the ball about lunchtime, and like one of the guys said, oh, you're quite good at that, and then I joined the school football team and then started doing football and rugby at the same time, and then I just found a love for football and that just took over, and I got in, that was when I was in England, so I got into an excellent programme over there, and then when I came over here, yeah, it just took off and I really fell in love with it even more, and I knew that's what I like wanted to play all the time, so just wanted more and more of it, yeah.
And when you were over in England, did you know anything about the teams over here, or whenever you came over, was it just kind of all new to you?
We would visit over here because I have family over here. So my mum did most of the investigating because obviously I was young back then, it was 2016. And mum had known someone that knew someone at Linfield, so when we came over one day I went and did like a training session with them just to see how I found it, and then when we did decide to move over here, that's who I like started off with, and we did really well at Linfield going up in the youth leagues. It was like under 17s and then under 19s, and we'd gone like unbeaten in leagues and stuff, won lots of trophies, so yeah, it was a really good experience at Linfield.
And then whenever you left Linfield, who did you go to next?
I went to Crusaders next, and that was through like I played Northern Ireland with a lot of the girls, and I had a really good friendship, and I knew the coach as well at Crusaders, so I decided to go to Crusaders and try to push for the first team, and then I did. That first season I was at Crusaders, got to play, and I was playing alongside like Julie Nelson and that, so yeah, it was a brilliant experience.
Laura, obviously the big awards night is coming up soon, and you're nominated for Goalkeeper of the Year. You must be very proud of that as well.
Yeah, very proud of that. I think a few years ago my confidence had took a knock, and just joining Ballymoney and being part of an incredible squad has really helped build that back up. Proud of the performances in the cup finals. It's a challenging position to play. You make a mistake and it's more often than not resulting in a goal, so there's always that in the back of your mind. I'm very lucky to be part of a squad that mistakes happen. A player will put their hand up, say I made a mistake, and we move on.
I think the games I've seen, particularly this season, Ballymoney have such a community around them. I'm sure that helps as well, because if your friend's off the pitch and that influences your on the pitch as well.
Yeah, it definitely does help, especially in times where it's not going your way. Everybody lifts each other up. They back each other up, and that helps in more difficult performances. We had a massive performance against Camlock. I think we went to extra time and won at 5-3, and that was a very, very good team performance. The same against Belfast Celtic, that went down to the last few minutes where we had a young player come on, score the winning goal. And that was, we had a reshuffle very early on when Larne had to go off injured. And just to have the players there that can do that makes a huge difference. You walk into every game with your head up and confident.
You touched on it, that your confidence took a little bit of a dip, but like we kind of hark on about it a lot. Whenever you're in football, there's always people around you to kind of lift you back up. I'm sure you felt that.
Yeah, definitely. And we've another keeper at the squad as well who I train with, and we back each other up. Good coaching, we get good warm up. And that helps to just mentally prepare you before a game as well. But again, knowing that you're not free to make a mistake, but it's not going to be held against you, there's not going to be any blame. You just play with confidence, and that then goes through the rest of the team.
Sasha, obviously last year you were the newbies, now you're not the newbies anymore, and you've got another season under your belt. You must be confident, as you said at the start of the show, these young players can push through and maybe get higher than 8th like this year.
Yeah, definitely. I think the more that we play together, the more everyone gets in and settled. Then younger players get the confidence, get minutes under the belt. I think it just they just come on and on. You know, the main thing is the confidence. If we believe we can do it, we can. So we just need to keep on pushing and hopefully aim next year to compete more. I know it was tight for a while there, but we came out, you know, without the points, which we were all very disappointed about. So hopefully next year we can use that to push on and strive to get more points under our belt.
As a footballer, I suppose, as somebody who doesn't play football, they say that you're most like vulnerable at the start of games and then when you concede and after you concede. How true is that as somebody on the pitch at the time?
That's one of our like weaknesses, is we sometimes don't start the game well, or we don't start after half time well, and that's when the other team scores the goals. Or we'll go and score a goal and then, you know, we'll all be like buzzing from scoring and not switched on, and the whistle will blow again, and next thing you know, like they might have scored again. So you definitely have to pay attention at all times. You can't let your emotions get the best of you at all.
And Laura, particularly if you're a keeper and you're the last person there.
Yeah, I'd say those are probably areas where I'm most alert, because you're expecting it nearly. You want to get a good start to the game, so that's when you're really switched on, is that first whistle. You can't really afford to switch off at all.
And we talked a little bit off the camera about superstitions. You say you're quite superstitious. Talk us through some of them.
So my biggest one is I tend to stay away from social media before a game. I think you get humbled very quickly if you don't.
In life, probably.
In life in general, but if I just like to keep quiet, focus on the game, go play, and then post something after once the job's done. I'm very, very particular about my warm-ups. I like to get through as many game scenarios as I can.
And Sasha, finally, what about yourself? I know you kind of echoed her that you're also a bit like that.
I wear the same like sports bra every game day, same pants too, obviously washed, but but then I put my left boot on my right boot, tie my right boot, tie my left boot, and I have to do that, otherwise I have to undo it, because I'll realise before we go out, and then I'm like, I don't know why or when that started, but it's just been like that for years now.
But how do you know if you've not done it right?
I just feel it, and if I'm like, did I do it? I undo it and do it again. So yeah, a bit weird, but it's just one of them ones, I can't help it. So
definitely the quirks of football. That's everything for this episode of the Northern Ireland Women's Football Show. Thank you both so much for joining me. It'll be exciting to see how Ballymoney get on this championship next year, and hopefully Larne can push on higher up that premiership in the next season. Thank you for watching as ever at home, but for now it's goodbye from me.